It's more about that emptiness, that quantum field, that empty
Yeah.
space that you talk about, and the
Yeah.
way that you refer to it that has helped you quantumly entangle with things,
Right.
in all these different places, and has taken you to places that most of us will
Yes.
never. Uh, and that's where the truth is. The truth is, we are the creators of our own healing ability.
Yes.
Because even if you're sick and you go see a doctor and you go see support groups and friends and newer friends and social media sites and every single thing, ultimately it's you that flips the switch when the healing really starts taking hold.
Right.
And you've been in all these different places, brought there from the divine. Who are, veteran creators. But that consciousness is this loop of possibility, limitless, endless possibility. That's the base of everything. That's the empty space. It's a field. It's not mass or energy.
Yeah.
But it
Right.
can affect mass and energy.
It's pure
And
potential.
anti-mass and anti-energy and all that stuff. But it starts with us. And wow, did you see his screen?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
I'm kind of
interesting.
messing around with it a little bit.
It didn't seem it was you, but cool nonetheless.
Yeah, it was me. What are you doing, Mom?
The man is loved. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, I and started to take courses, and now that we've met, I've got more courses to take.
Excellent.
But I want to be able to help him because it's been out of his control. A lot of things in his environment.
Yeah. Right.
And there's really nothing he can do about it. Even though he has the brilliance, the heart, and the character to get it done. It's just not that way. There's a certain thing he's got to pass first. And I just hope it's not the mortal coil. I want to see if I can get there first. I also want to help my boss, who is having more issues now with his lungs and this pneumonia than the hernia that has kind of slowed him down.
Chip, speaking of hernia, I have the option to get this colon issue totally removed.
Yes.
But there is a risk of getting a hernia.
Oh, you got it. In addition?
Yeah.
Really? It's not bad enough that you got no colon. You have hernias.
And then when it is removed, everything would go through the small intestine, which would be all liquid.
Yeah. It just
I mean, it's a dang if you do and dang if you don't type of scenario.
It takes this kind of pain signal that is saved for what he would call those lower levels and just moves it to a different area of the body. That doesn't heal anything. It just changes where the torture comes from.
And then
I couldn't save my wife from that.
It'd have to open my chest completely up, and the recovery would be fairly long. So I'm not ready for that.
I think people can help you. I think he can do it. Yeah, I think I could do it.
Oh, good.
Because there's that love there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just one of those lucky beginners, and I can't tell well, I can't. It feels like divine energy, and I can actually feel surrounded at the time that it feels divine. There are times where it feels like life energy, and I cannot really tell the difference other than uh, what I'm interpreting outside of that particular energy.
Mhm.
Do you see a difference between divine energy and chi?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. Divine energy contains the presence of the Holy Spirit, and that's not replicable. There's a feeling and a peace and a love and a bliss that goes with it that I haven't encountered anywhere else. So
Yeah, it's
yeah, definitely.
unmistakable. Like you said, once you experience it once, yeah,
Once you experience it, you know it. You know it's
you
there.
know it.
You
And
know it exists.
it's like the
Yeah.
smell of death, kind of the same thing.
Mhm.
It can only be that one thing. And that's
Yeah.
unmistakable.
Yeah.
Interesting. Would you choose between a chi and a divine for anything specific that you can think of offhand? Like, let's say if it's a bone fracture as opposed to an organ, where the pain signals or the danger signals are not experienced as well. So the
Uh-huh.
person might be unaware of it, but you could see the energy.
Well, I always do both. I cover my bases whenever I do a healing. I do some work as an energy master with the chi, and I do some work by calling on the divine and channeling the Christ consciousness and the God consciousness
So,
through
so,
prayer.
so it is, but now so sometimes I got to ask you if you're experiencing this too. So, because I need to know if I'm on the right track. But
Mhm.
it's like, with my wife, I used to, you know, uh, I would have these meditations where I could envision the energy coming from my crown to be like this laser beam that's like this big around and has this impossible to ignore hum, you know, uh, that can only be, you know, more massive than I could possibly imagine is actual.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, and I can use my third eye, which now has this kind of wrinkle that when I look concerned, you can see an angel form. It's like really weird. But I can use that to suction the pain out or start a certain flow. So I can do the rest with hands or other chakras if needed. If that makes sense at all.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but when I pull it out, the most common stuff feels like those pins and needles, like you just mentioned, the leg falling asleep. That it feels like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's these cubes, that are like the size of ice cubes. You know, sometimes they're these hydra decad, whatever a 12 level thing is, and they're huge, and they're a different kind of pain, but I see them and feel them and interpret them as different ways, and
Mhm.
as quickly as I can, uh, use all of my heart to convert that energy into the kind of energy that I can send throughout universes. So anything that it encounters will be improved
Mhm.
at random.
Yep.
Does that sound right?
Yep. That's per my understanding.
Okay. So lucky beginner, I guess. Do you look at auras, chakras, meridians? When you're looking at people to see where they might particularly be affected.
Yeah, I can see auras. I'm permanently clairvoyant, so I can constantly see energy everywhere and energy emanating off of objects and energy emanating off of people.
um, uh, Chakras, do you see, and do you use processes where you see them? Uh,
Yep.
'Cause to me, they look like what a clock on a wall, this round thing, but they're like clouds, and you can
Tonight's not just another night.
Sorry.
go clockwise or counterclockwise, as long as they're all following the same direction, depending on what the sense is of what will relieve where the upset is. Do you see meridians? I don't.
No, I do not see meridians.
Well, then I'm going to take it back to some mind over matter things, because
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of where you started.
Yep.
That and having hour-long conversations with God, which is pretty darn impressive.
Michael,
But you go ahead, Tim.
Michael, do you see auras?
Yes, I do. Sometimes more, sometimes less. It depends on my state of focus, but I'm constantly seeing energy everywhere.
What do you see on me or Chippy?
Well, it's difficult over digital, but yeah, it's and these are really small screens. But let me try.
Okay.
Okay, on you, I see green light accumulated in your shoulders. And on Chippy, I see a silvery light encompassing his body, and there's a golden orish growing out from it.
That doesn't sound too bad, Jimmy.
Nothing.
I'll take it. I actually saw your energies change as you were examined. It was
Yeah,
fascinating.
that'll happen.
I've never seen that before.
What does the green mean? Like
The silver?
the green.
Oh, the green. Well, it's more like what it means to you, but green is typically associated with the heart. Although you can experience any color in any situation, but green being on the shoulders means that you have some either a desire to be healed up there or some healing currently taking place. Most likely, there's many things that it can mean,
Okay.
but I just have to take my best guess.
Interesting.
Well, I gotta ask about silver and gold, please. And it's probably more what it means to me, I suppose.
Silver is receptive, gold is projective.
Huh?
Yeah.
See, I said gold to me is highly spiritual or divine,
Mm-hmm.
but that's my interpretation. And silver is growth, transcendence. But I just I kind of am purposely setting myself to try my best to stay in those spaces.
Mhm.
It's been a tough season we just ended, especially for me, but no cakewalk for him either.
Yeah.
And not being there for him doesn't make it any easier. You know, lost my wife recently,
Yeah, that's difficult.
and spent years watching nothing else but her suffer. That's a challenging thing.
Yeah. Ooh.
I am retraining my mind to have that faith, to build that bridge. So
Mhm.
I don't have to be in a place of weakness and ego.
Sure.
They got my back. I believe that. He was in the room the day I lost her. And he took her through her pineal gland because she had been about 12 and a half hours bigger, but her forehead was warm. And to me, that meant that it was divine or spirit that took through her pineal gland her essence into
Mhm.
her new home. And kind of confirmed some things to her that she was never allowed to believe within herself through life because messages drilled into her, uh, from an abusive parent. And,
Chip, you have any questions for Michael? Got about 20 minutes.
I think I'm on the right track. You can tell me if I'm wrong. It's a learning process. Just from a sense. Do you think I should try a different direction? Kind of a tough question.
I think maybe you're on the right path, Chip, though. Got to get you back on the air full time, doing your show.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
That's part of the healing process.
Oh, I always
Doing
felt
something you love to
it
do.
was a calling because it took fear from people, and taught them things that their own abilities already exist. They just had never been told.
How long you guys been doing this show?
Oh, Timmy's been doing it longer than I've been.
11 years this month, actually.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
consistency.
started in 2010 as a co-host, just as rude as I am with you.
Actually, you started out as a guest, and then I brought you on
Yeah,
months after that.
yeah. And my latest show, which I stopped doing when my wife had stopped breathing during a live episode.
Chip, you have to get Michael a copy of Even the Dead Won't Tell You the Truth.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. I'll make sure he gets one. Absolutely.
Tell him
Yeah,
about
it's a
that.
book I got published. It's a murder mystery, fictional, but it's rooted in the first person experiences of a spirit medium, who is the central character of the book.
Okay.
Plot-wise, the medium's best friend from high school, you know, when they were all in high school, the best friend was the big man on campus, and his sweetheart was the prettiest girl in town. You know, they were the super couple through the entirety of high school, and the medium had this very deep connection to them both. And the pretty girl was the first one to know that he could engage with the dead, and she kept that secret so it wouldn't affect his reputation in town, you know, and make him the town freak. So they all three had this tremendous bond. And the book opens, I would say, 27 years later, as our medium is at home during the day for whatever reason. If there's a knock at the door, and he opens the door, and it's a homicide detective. Asks if he can come in, and yeah, he doesn't really realize the weight of the moment until they've sat down, and the interview type of process started, and that freaked him out. It's like, you know, homicide. Oh my God, you know, is my wife okay? But my, you know, it's nothing like that. We understand that you're very close to this gentleman, you know, the best friend. He had just been charged with the murder of the high school sweetheart. And the medium wasn't even aware that they had even seen each other in over 2 decades. He had fell in love with someone else in college and married that woman. He's happily married. You know, the high school sweetheart's name hadn't even come up. So he's like, no, there's no way this guy's not violent. He doesn't have to be. Everything's handed to him. He has everything he ever wanted. No reason for violence. It's not him. And the detective says, all the evidence we have points to no one else. Yeah, really doesn't look good for your butt. But the detective learns that he's a medium. The medium learns that the detective had particular issues with his father in life. Yeah. And so there's kind of a little bit of a bond there. But the best friend was never into the talking to the dead kind of stuff, but they were friends nonetheless. The bond was there, irregardless. So they survived, even though they, you know, had things that were beyond each other's comfort level. It was like this unconditional bond, you know, like best friend.
Yeah.
And but now he's in prison. It is looking really bad for him. So the best friend asks our medium if he could communicate with the murder victim to get some sort of alibi evidence, because he didn't kill her. So the medium gives it a shot, you know. But the medium's a little wounded, and you know, sometimes to have a good communication, you have to be open, right? And he didn't realize how traumatized he was, you know, not having time to process the loss of this woman who basically saved his reputation. And so it was hard to start this communication. And when he finally gets an additional hint, it looks almost like she's implicating him. And he's thinking that something's off there. That
Michael,
Yes.
tell us about the Metaphysical Church of the Tree of Life and and how you what that's all about and how you help people there.
Okay, well, I have two different outlets of energy training. One is the Avatar Energy Mastery Institute. I started that in 2011, and that course is focused entirely on self-empowerment through focus and meditation techniques to obtain clairvoyance, out-of-body travel, telekinesis, all sorts of metaphysical abilities. The Metaphysical Church of the Tree of Life I started 5 years ago, which is like a companion course to the Avatar Energy Mastery material. The premise being that if you are a multidimensional energy master in expanded consciousness, that you are capable of having a massively enhanced relationship with the Creator, with God, far more so than a regular human who does not have the extrasensory perception. So, in the Metaphysical Church of the Tree of Life, we teach techniques to combine the energy mastery with not only your relationship with God, but with your relationship with collective consciousness and with the natural world around you. So, the Metaphysical Church of the Tree of Life is more now that you are an energy master, like what do you do with it? How do you enhance every aspect of your life with it? Whereas the Avatar Energy Mastery is just straight techniques of self becoming.
You
Uh,
mentioned mind over matter, and take that even to further places. So there,
Yes.
as I imagine, we have to reach a higher level before we even attempt to do any of that stuff. Which
Well, I've
area?
learned that when you combine the energy mastery with the devotion to God, that you grow so much faster than if you keep it all on your own.
God, that makes so much sense.
how do you know if you have ESP then? How do you know if you
Because you can sense information that's above and below the rainbow spectrum of sight, that's above and below the range of the human ear. You can feel things past the skin of your body. You can smell things that are in other places. Like it just starts to happen. There's many different forms of extrasensory perception, but they're all taught in my energy mastery course, and they're all rather easy to learn.
Yeah. But there's always ways to affirm it, so you know it's not your imagination. Uh, so that helps.
Yep.
Michael, does it help to do meditations to help bring that enhance those abilities?
Well, I teach two different disciplines for obtaining higher consciousness. One is meditation and one is focus. And these are just terminologies that I use. So in meditation, you're seeking to lower the brain waves, to reduce the consciousness, to ignore the data, the sensory data happening inside of the body so that you can contain a connection to your spirit. The other side of the formula is focus exercises where you work on raising your brain waves even higher and hyper examining, hyper focusing what's going on in your body through the electrical system. And if you can focus enough to encompass all that sensory data, then there becomes room left over for your awareness to leapfrog into spirit. So next thing you know, you're able to feel the physical sensations and the spiritual sensations at the same time through the practice of the focus exercises.
So you help people with discipline of get strengthen their abilities then.
Yep, from A to Z, how to meditate, how to become clairvoyant, how to see energy, how to travel out of the body, all of it. It's a comprehensive course in energy mastery that if you go through the whole thing, it's about a 2-year course.
Does meditation and grounding help with that?
Oh yeah, big time. They all factor in.
But taking the focus, that's a rare thing. That's a rare thing.
Yeah, focus is intense. Focus is where it's at, though. That's presence mastery. That's being here. That's the power of now. Be focused. on what you're feeling in the moment. And if you can do that, then powerful things open up. A physical experience becomes a spiritual experience with enough focus.
Yeah, and it helps answer the earlier question, because if you can do both, then there's a wider range of extrasensory capabilities that come
That's right.
with that.
Yeah.
Because
Most certainly
sometimes it's
can do
more
both.
effective. Yeah, sometimes it's more effective to raise your energy in order to meet certain things. Sometimes it's better to lower your energy in order to embrace certain things.
Yeah.
So,
That's right. Yep.
and it also adds to the limits of our senses, each sense. We can see a
Right.
limited amount, but that doing both will increase your
Yeah, in both
overall
directions. Yep.
sensory ability.
And meditation and
Very
grounding
good.
helps with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to commend you. I mean, that's rare. I mean, I'm not sure I've ever encountered anybody that did both at the same time. And I don't think it's because I've asked a limited amount of people. I just think that's pretty amazing.
Michael, what's some of the exercises you can do to help you focus and help you meditate?
Well, the biggest part of focus is what I call presence mastery, and that involves subtracting your awareness from other things and making your awareness singular on one thing. So the big thing is to come out of your mind, to step out of your thoughts about the past, the future, he said, she said, got to do this, got to do that. That's a given. You got to pull all of that out. And then you got to focus on what you're feeling now. Like if you're breathing with your chakras and breathing with your heart, you're going to start to accumulate energy in the chest. Well, you need to focus exclusively on that energy to all other things. And as you do, your mental presence will begin to embody stronger and stronger within that energy, and it'll begin to multiply and fan out. So, yeah, focus is subtracting awareness from other places and adding it to a singular place for the purpose of transcending your perception of that thing.
You stop thinking, because as long as you're thinking, you're not listening.
Right. You feel.
Yeah.
That's how you focus, as you feel.
Yeah. Amazing. Outstanding.
That's sometimes difficult to do, though, to clear your
Well,
mind.
Oh,
hey, great things
it's
don't
very
come easy.
difficult at first, but it develops over time and it becomes natural. Trust me.
A lot of
But yes, it's
self-discipline.
not easy at first.
Yeah, a lot of self-discipline doing that.
Well,
Yeah.
but it helps, because as the further up the ladder you get, the more exponential the speed, because
Yep.
the determination is made so clear that outside forces unseen can see it, and they help. And
Mhm.
then you're not doing all the work anymore. And you can feel the help, and it increases your confidence, which increases everything. Because as long as you believe you're doing it, you're
Is-
doing it.
Yeah, is it better to do it at night when everything's calmer?
There's different exercises that are better to do at different times. Some exercises you want to do when you're more awake and more alert and more aware. Some exercises you want to do under sunlight or out in the nature. Some exercises you want to do when you're more diminished and more sleepy and more tired. So it depends on the exercises. But the Energy Mastery course is broken into 3 different levels. There's Awakening, Advanced, and Mastery, and each one has 7 different primary lesson groups with multiple exercises within it. So some of them, it's different. That they're all different.
Yeah, and it puts you in different environments too, which
Yes.
increases the possibilities of everything.
Yep.
See, a lot of people don't do that. That's impressive. That's impressive. person.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Now, bless you, man. Wow. This is like I'm having an in-body, out-of-body experience just by being.
Michael, some of
Yeah.
the testimonials on your website are phenomenal. I mean, these people, some of these people really have had good experiences with your teachings and what you've been able
Yeah.
to do to help them.
Yeah. Thanks for stating that. Yeah. A big thing about me is a person can come to me who's had a spiritual experience that they just can't understand. And far more often than not, I'm going to have a logical explanation for them that'll completely make sense, accompanied with exercises that they can do to take it to the next level. Another common one is people were born with these gifts, like they were able to be clairvoyant, see energy, and do amazing things, but then they lost it somewhere in their life. And so then they find me and they're like, well, this guy has an A to Z intellectual track to obtaining it. And so they reobtain it. And so to a lot of people, their time studying with me was one of the most valuable things that they'll ever learn on their journey on Earth.
Yeah, it's a little bit like you described yourself sometimes, because you had natural things that people you trusted said were wrong or unnatural.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what happens to people who are born with those gifts, but
Yeah.
you know, don't have enough mind of their own yet to even realize that they don't have enough mind of their own, and they pay attention to their programming, which comes from other places.
That's right.
How's your success been with the Avatar Healing Mastery Institute?
Well, it was very successful in the past before I lost it through the unfortunate events of 2019. But since the Coast to Coast interview, it's been pretty good. Things have been working out nicely.
Yes, I was just scrolling down some of the testimonials. They're phenomenal. The things
Thank you.
that you've done for people.
Yeah.
One of these-
Yeah, it really changes your life from the inside out when you learn these techniques. There's not one aspect of your life that is not massively enhanced by spiritualizing your perception. So the saying goes, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Well, that's no longer true of me. I'm a spiritual being having a spiritual, I'm always spiritually connected. I have a physical body and I feel sensations from it, but they're muted by comparison. So yeah, it's a ticket to a paradisical experience of this world that we're in now, and it's your ticket out of here if you want to exit the reincarnational system. So everybody should be an energy master.
So it's a nice escape to the what to our reality we have here, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep, it's a nice addition to it and an escape.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
This guy's been to places string theory doesn't even imagine.
Oh, I know, right?
I mean, that's just out of this world, literally.
Mm. But
Well, just to let you guys know, my earbuds might fail me in the next 5 minutes. I just got a battery low warning today for some reason.
probably the energy. How can people get a hold of you, Michael? And is there
Oh,
any
yeah. Yeah, the
website?
best way to get a hold of me is through my bio site, which is michaelmonk.bio. So that's MichaelMonk.bio, michaelmonk.bio. And that leads to both of my courses, the Avatar Energy Mastery and the Metaphysical Church. Plus gives an outline of my biography, links to my demonstrations, because I do telekinetic demonstrations and stuff on YouTube and healing demonstrations and such. But yeah, that would give a person of great oversight and see if my work's correct for them.
Chip, closing comments?
I know what I'm watching tonight.
You know, on YouTube as well.
These drones and orbs and giants and jets. You have Michael Monk to watch.
Michael, you're on
Well, it
YouTube,
was-
as well, right?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel, a new one. I used to have an old one, but I lost it. I had 17,000 subscribers, and now I have like 800. But it'll grow.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
Michael Monk.
Ah, easy enough.
Yeah. Well, it was great to meet you guys and interact with you. You guys are great souls,
Thank you so
Wow.
much.
and you got a good synergy between you two.
Oh, there's
Awesome.
a love, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a while since Chip and I have been on together, and it's been
It's-
a great reunion.
Yeah, I just
Awesome.
unconscionably long time.
Yeah.
And
Well, if you guys are interested in any of my courses, I always give people that interview me access to my intellectual materials for free. So just send out an email if you're interested in studying my material, and I'll give you free membership since you were the host of this interview.
Sounds great. Your website is michaelmonk.bio, is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
and
Awesome.
Michael Monk on YouTube.
Yep.
And everybody knows where Chippy's going from here.
That's
Thank you
great.
so
Well,
much,
look
Michael.
forward to seeing you then.
All
Say
right.
that again, buddy.
I said it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's my honor. You guys have a most blessed evening. We'll have to do this again in the future.
Oh,
Definitely.
please, yes.
Thank you,
By all
Michael.
means.
Great.
Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye bye.
Take care. Our newfound best friend. We
Yeah.
love you.
Time for me to fly. I've got to set my feet. Time for me to fly. Maybe that's just how it's got to be. Though it hurts to say goodbye, but it's time for me to fly. Fly. It's time for me to fly. Oh, I've got to set myself free. Time for me to fly. Baby, that's just how it's got to be. Whoa, I know it hurts to say goodbye, but it's time for me to fly. Time for me to fly. High, high, high. Time for me to fly. Time for me to fly. Time for me to fly. It's time for me to fly. Time for me to fly. Time for me to fly. It's time for me to fly. Oh, baby, yes it is.